Hey everyone, welcome back to the Turing Test Podcast. I'm Jamie, and today we have a really interesting topic to dive into. We're talking about AI and the digital divide. Is it exacerbating or bridging the gap? And joining me today is Rachel. Hey Rachel.
Hey Jamie, glad to be here. This is such a crucial topic, especially with how fast AI is developing. I mean, it's like every day there's something new, right?
Absolutely. So let's get into it. AI has the potential to totally transform economies and societies. But there's this big question. Is it making things better for everyone, or is it just widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots?
Well, Jamie, I think it's a bit of both. On one hand, AI can democratize access to information and services. But on the other hand, it can also exacerbate existing inequalities. For instance, those who already have access to technology and education are better positioned to benefit from AI advancements.
Yeah, but isn't that always the case with new technology? I mean, look at the internet. At first, only a few people had access, but now it's everywhere. Couldn't AI follow the same path?
Well, that's a bit simplistic, don't you think? The internet is one thing, but AI is a whole different beast. We're talking about machines that can think and learn. It's not just about access. It's about who controls the technology and who gets to benefit from it.
Oh, come on, Rachel. You're making it sound like some dystopian sci-fi movie. Sure, there are challenges, but there are also huge opportunities. For example, AI can help in healthcare by diagnosing diseases early, which can be a game changer for underserved communities.
Yeah. But who's developing these AI systems? Mostly big tech companies in wealthy countries, so the benefits are not evenly distributed. Plus, there's the issue of bias in AI. These systems can perpetuate and even amplify existing biases, which can be harmful.
Okay, fair point. But let's talk about education. AI can provide personalized learning experiences, which can be especially beneficial for students in underfunded schools. Isn't that a way to bridge the gap?
Sure, personalized learning is great. But again, it depends on access. If students don't have reliable internet or devices, they can't benefit from these AI tools. And let's not forget about the teachers. They need to be trained to use these tools effectively, which is another layer of complexity.
Yeah, training is definitely important. But speaking of complexity, what about the job market? There's a lot of talk about AI taking over jobs. Do you think it's more of a threat or an opportunity?
It's both. AI will definitely automate some jobs, especially those that are repetitive and routine, but it will also create new jobs that we can't even imagine right now. The key is to prepare the workforce for this transition, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like trying to predict the future. But, some experts say that AI will create more jobs than it destroys. What do you think about that?
I'm not so sure. The jobs that AI creates will likely require different skills than the ones it destroys. So there's a risk that people who lose their jobs won't be able to transition to the new ones without significant retraining.
Right? And that's where education and training programs come in. But let's not forget about the ethical implications. AI can be used for good, but it can also be used for manipulation and control. How do we ensure that AI is used responsibly?
That's a tough one. Regulation is key, but it's also a double-edged sword. Too much regulation can stifle innovation, but too little can lead to misuse and abuse. We need a balanced approach that encourages innovation while protecting society.
Yeah, balance is crucial. By the way, so before we continue, just a quick shout out to Augmented AI, the producer of the Turing Test Podcast. Augmented AI hosts a variety of cutting-edge courses in generative AI, large language models, edge AI, robotics, and computer vision. You can get a free generative AI course at bit.ly/Turing Test Podcast or go to www.augmentedstartups.com.
Thanks for that, Jamie. So back to our discussion. What about the role of governments? Should they be more involved in regulating AI, or should we leave it to the private sector?
That's a tricky one. Governments definitely have a role to play, but they often move too slowly to keep up with the pace of technological change. The private sector is more agile, but it also has its own interests, which might not always align with the public good.
Exactly. That's why we need a multi-stakeholder approach. Governments, private sector, academia, and civil society all need to work together to ensure that AI benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Yeah, but easier said than done, right? I mean, look at the current state of politics. Getting everyone to agree on anything is like herding cats.
True, but we can't afford to be cynical. The stakes are too high. We need to find common ground and work towards solutions that are inclusive and equitable.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But let's switch gears a bit. What about the role of AI in developing countries? Can it help them leapfrog traditional development stages, or is it just another form of digital colonialism?
That's a loaded question. AI has the potential to help developing countries in many ways, from improving healthcare to boosting agricultural productivity. But there's also a risk that they could become dependent on technology developed and controlled by foreign entities, which could undermine their sovereignty.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. But some developing countries are already making strides in AI. Take Rwanda, for example. They're using AI to improve healthcare and education. So it's not all doom and gloom.
True, but we need to ensure that these countries have the capacity to develop and control their own AI systems. Otherwise, they could end up being at the mercy of foreign tech giants.
Okay, but let's not forget about the role of international organizations. They can help bridge the gap by providing funding and technical assistance to developing countries. What do you think about that?
International organizations can play a role, but they often come with their own agendas. We need to ensure that their interventions are genuinely beneficial and not just a way to exert influence.
Fair point. But let's talk about something a bit more controversial. What about the ethical implications of AI in warfare? Should we be developing AI weapons, or is that a line we shouldn't cross?
That's a line we definitely shouldn't cross. AI weapons could lead to a new arms race and make conflicts even more deadly. We need to establish international norms and regulations to prevent the development and use of AI in warfare.
But isn't that a bit naive? I mean, if we don't develop AI weapons, someone else will. We can't afford to be left behind.
That's the classic arms race argument. But we need to think long-term. The risks of AI weapons far outweigh any potential benefits. We need to work towards disarmament and peaceful uses of AI.
Yeah, I see your point. But let's bring it back to the digital divide. What can we do to ensure that AI benefits everyone, not just a privileged few?
We need to invest in education and training to ensure that everyone has the skills to benefit from AI. We also need to address issues of access and affordability, especially in underserved communities.
Yeah, and we need to ensure that AI systems are designed and used ethically. That means addressing issues of bias and ensuring that AI is used to promote social good, not just profit.
Exactly. And we need to have a broader conversation about the role of AI in society. This isn't just a technical issue, it's a social and political one as well.
Yeah, you're right. This is a complex issue with no easy answers, but it's a conversation we need to have. And on that note, we're almost out of time. Any final thoughts, Rachel?
Just that we need to approach AI with a sense of responsibility and urgency. The decisions we make today will shape the future of our societies. We need to ensure that AI benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Well said. And lastly, don't forget to check out Augmented AI University to upgrade your skills and become an AI expert fast. Go to bit.ly/Turing Test Podcast to enroll in your free cutting-edge AI course at augmentedstartups.com. See you next time.
Thanks for having me, Jamie. This was a great discussion. See you next time.
Thanks, Rachel. And thanks to all our listeners. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.